AskReddit by Jasper Midnight. What is the stupidest thing you've heard someone say that they were 100% serious about? At one of my first jobs as a graphic designer, a client called me into his office and pulled up a photo he took. He then asked me if I could turn it around. No, not rotate it, but turn the viewpoint around. He wanted to see what was behind the camera when he originally took the photo. God, I have so many stories from that job. Tell more. I'm an artist too, and do people have a misguided idea of what we can do? My favorites are the people who want horizontal content put in a vertical space but without altering any of it. A guy I work with said that a football referee runs over the distance of a marathon during a game. I pointed out that a football game was only 90 minutes long and that the marathon record was just over 2 hours, so that would be impossible. He said it was possible, because a football referee changes direction a lot during a game, and it all adds up. So if I ran in a circle, would all the direction changes add up to the world record? English teacher here. Once, while showing my class the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet, I had a student stare at the screen in utter confusion for half the movie before she said, "How can he be in this movie? He died in Titanic." I was a student in HS when Titanic came out. I vividly remember talking about the movie in class, and this one girl asking, with all sincerity, "Wouldn't it just be awful if that actually happened?" At age 27, my friend said that he had gotten into a fight with his girlfriend because he knew that his parents didn't have to have sex to conceive him. His mom got pregnant with him because they got married. Okay, I have to ask the question. How does a guy like that even get a girlfriend? Yeah bro, it says carbonated because they removed the carbs while standing in line at a drugstore. Best eavesdrop of my life. My fav eavesdrop was Greek mythology is wild. It's like Harry Potter but in real life. Can you email me back the PDF I emailed you? It's my only copy. My most recent boss. Print out that thing I just emailed you and scan it and send it to so and so. The amount of stuff I watched her print and scan so she could attach the scan to an email. If I don't finish all my eggs within 2 weeks, I throw them out. I don't want the light in the fridge to make them hatch. You know those eggs aren't fertilized, right? And also the light goes off when you close the door. Huh? Also eggs aren't hatched by light but warmth. A professor in college refused to give back our tests because you should know what you did wrong. They just hadn't marked them properly. Someone I know argued with me that I do not live anywhere near Canada. He got pretty nasty about it too. When I showed him proof, he said, "Well, I only know Texas. I live right outside of Detroit, Michigan. Closer to Canada than I am to any other state." I have also had a few people argue with me that I do not live in the Eastern time zone. I guess they know better than someone who actually lives here. What a weird thing for him to get nasty about. I was stationed in Germany in the late 80s 90s. Every Thanksgiving multiple dudes would be perplexed as to why the Germans didn't celebrate. A dude once told me he was excited to celebrate the 4th with the Germans and asked if they did fireworks. I love you my brothers, but some of you are dumb. When I was in Germany on a rotation, they actually put on an incredible fireworks display for us. So did the Afghans, used flares from their little lookout thingers around the fob when I was deployed. I was astonished and then extremely touched in both scenarios. How can Hawaii and Alaska have such different temperatures when they are right next to each other on the map? In a similar vein, Alaska is an island. I don't have an email, I have a Gmail. Fuck call center work. I remember when mail started getting big. My grandmother thought it was the latest version of email because G is later in the alphabet than E. When I was a kid, and on and off when I was older, until after it was decommissioned. My dad worked at a nuclear power plant. I was mentioning this to a college-age co-worker at one point. I think I was telling a story about take your daughter to work day, or something, and co-worker stops me. Wait, those are really real? I stopped talking, at a loss for words. I then had her repeat what she wanted to know. Nuclear power plants are actually real things? I thought they were made up for like The Simpsons. Had she never heard of Chernobyl? A guide dog's job is to drive the car for the blind person. 20 years later and she'll still argue the point. I would pay good money to see a dog drive a car correctly. I was on a date at an art museum. The painting tag said who it was made by the title and made Circe 1600 and she said, do you think the earth was even around back then? You just never really know. Were you on a date with Philomena Kunk? Haha. Her, where are you from? Me, I was born in Athens, Greece. Her, blank look dart. Really? Me, yes, why? Her, I thought Greece was a myth like Hercules. Comma, true story. Brett, my friend, 19 at the time, started dating someone still in high school. We were hanging out and he brought her. Her, where are you from? Me, Norway. Her, laughing, I think you mean Narnia. Me, no. Norway. Her, in a time indicating she thinks I'm dumb. I saw the movie. It's NRNIA. Blueberry muffins you buy pre-made don't have any blueberries in them. Blueberries cost too much. They dye bees blue because they have the same texture and use them. He has explained it to multiple people multiple times. I love that getting bees and dyeing them blue apparently costs less than just using blueberries. That ceiling fan dust was the cause of cancer. Like cancer actually did not exist until ceiling fans collected dust and it fell off. Bro. Some random girl on the elevator pointed out how ridiculous it is that we had a button for the floor we were already on. Comma, people who build shit are so stupid, she said with 100% seriousness. That sounds like someone who's only experienced customizable interfaces like smartphones. In college, my teaching assistant in my dinosaurs class insisted that roadrunners weren't real and laughed at me for suggesting it as an answer for a bird that runs fast. But the real dummy was me because I've seen one in real life and I still said oh okay. In grade 6 my class read a poem about ptarmigans where every word starting with T was changed to PT. The teacher said that ptarmigans were a made-up animal. I countered that they were a type of Arctic bird, so he sent me to the school library to find evidence. I came back with an encyclopedia, turned to the entry for ptarmigan and he read it out to the class and told everyone that teachers don't know everything and they should never be afraid to speak up. One of the best teachers I ever had, thanks Mr. Murphy. My sister's friend after beating my fiancé for the first time. Where is she from? Me, she was born here in the States but she's Cambodian. Her, oh my god. You can't be with her, they eat people. Me, long blank stare, I think you're thinking of cannibals. Her, long blank stare, what's the difference? Same woman was shocked to find out we believed in space. As in the planets and stars and galaxies. She thought half the sky was light and half the sky was dark and the planets spinning inside the atmosphere is why we had night and day and that there was nothing else out there. By far the dumbest person I've ever met. I have so many more stories about her. More stories please. How do we know it wasn't just ostriches on the radar that triggered Pearl Harbor, my dude? What? Unless the Japanese strapped bombs to the ostriches and dropped them on Pearl Harbor, he's mistaken. If Earth is spinning, then why my front door is always facing east? I think this broke my brain. Once had someone try to sell me the theory that the moon is a hologram made by the government to trick people. Had to do something after we destroyed it following the moon landing. Back during the mosque shooting in New Zealand and the government there were trying to ban guns, my co-worker said that they can't do that since it violates the American Second Amendment. Here in Australia we had anti-vax protesters carrying placards demanding their 14th Amendment rights. I work in construction and my rigger told me he doesn't believe in gravity with 100% seriousness. Mind you, his job is to rig tens of thousands of pounds of steel so it doesn't fall when moving it with a crane. Edit. Steel. I'd like to believe that maybe he's somehow just confused as to what gravity means. I can't get my head around how the idea that gravity isn't real even works. Like, why does he think things fall down when dropped? Fish aren't animals, they're mammals. And dolphins are fish, obviously. Women can control their periods. This person legitimately thought that the blood can just be sucked back in. It would be like trying to hold a nosebleed in by flexing your nostrils, lol. Women have 6 ovaries, my 46-year-old sister. I wonder where my other 4 went. You have to understand, I'm not a vibrational match for car accidents, so we'll be safer if I drive. Vibrational match? What does that mean?